Now, today's title is called the Fourth Industrial Revolution and Higher Education. Something related to education. Okay. These are the references that you will need to support this particular lecture, and it's made available to you. Okay. There is something called the Fourth Industrial Revolution and Higher Education by Brian Edward Penprace. Okay. You can Google this and you'll find it. Okay, and then we have the Malaysian Education Blueprint for Higher Education. You can Google, get it, and also Framing Malaysian Higher Education 4.0, Producing Future-Proof Talent. So all these three will be important for this lecture and for your reference. Now, again, we have already gone through what is the first and okay, and that's where train, using steam to run it on the railway track started. Industry using steam, okay, started. After 100 years, there was actually electricity that came in, and the electric power was able to create even higher production, better cost-effective production, okay, in the industry. And then after roughly another 100 years, there was the electronic and IT system, the automation, the world of computers, okay, started coming in, and it's still going on, okay. This part, still a lot of invention and new ideas coming up, okay. Now, of course, all this bring in greater production. In the fourth industrial revolution, which is going on now, okay, and for the foreseeable future, we call it the cyber-physical system. And you represent the combination of, again, the cyber-physical system, the Internet of Things, the Internet of a System, and building on the digital revolution of the third industrial revolution. Okay, it stands upon that. It converges the physical, the virtual, and the biological sphere enabled by digital technology. Its fundamental, of course, include artificial intelligence, AI. It involves cloud computing. It involves the Internet of Things. It involves big data analytics. Okay, this is where many of you have been sharing very good articles, very good videos, very good work done by other people, okay, to your assignment number 3. Visit one another to go in depth in the broader scope of actually what's going on. Now, this is Professor Klaus Schwab, okay? And Professor Klaus Schwab is the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. And he was the one who introduced concerning the Industrial Revolution 4.0. So he says this, very important, huh? What is particularly important is the education system we have. To change the educational, we have to change the education system. Hey, which is still very much anchored even in the 19th century. We have to adapt it to the need to change continuously. For example, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is from his statement. Huh? So the new digital norms, but also has to be based on now, the key word he's saying here, is that you need in the school, secondary school, primary school, even in the nursery, actually have to change. The world of education system actually not have much changes, so we need more drastic changes so that we can able to bring in graduates like all of you, who later on can become future-proof to fit into the world of IR 4.0. And they bring in this thing, called, hey, we need to add in an ethical norm. We need to add in something called values. So Afterwards, you see actually what we're doing in UMS, what we're doing in Malaysia. We try to attempt to add in nilai murni, okay, ethical values. The fourth industrial revolution is unlike anything humankind has experienced before. Now, Klaus Schwab, his statement is still being understood by people right now. Even among many of us, for the first time last week, we heard about fourth industrial revolution. Okay, and I tell you, before the COVID-19 pandemic, this is the number one, dominant topic throughout the whole world. But suddenly, of course, with COVID-19 pandemic, this one had been sidelined. But dear students, this is the way forward. Okay, how could fourth industrial revolution support the overcoming to solve the problem of COVID-19 pandemic? Hey, this should be a very good title, probably. Anyway, we have an exciting topic. Now, again, this topic and many part of this lecture, okay, is taken directly from this article. So again, dear students, this PowerPoint, majority of them, the content actually is being shared among all students who are taking AT20503. Okay, so we anyway, what is important is that this particular article, so again, I'm saying that these all come from the article, majority of them. So I will go through quite briefly and quite fast because they are quite easy to understand. Okay, and the introduction concerning that article, okay, it's a concept, the WEF, the World Economic Forum. And there have been white papers, okay, describing IR4.0 that will shape the future of education, gender, and work, and how IR4 will accelerate work. Now, reskilling is a very important word. You can see all the mega trends. So, what is it that today, last week we saw more than 800 million people now will lose their job. What? 800 million? Under the condition, they do not reskill themselves. So this is need to upskill and higher education. Okay. So education respond to the first two industrial revolution. So dear students, try to understand, okay, what are the universities doing? What are the schools doing to prepare students who will eventually graduate to face the fourth industrial revolution? Okay, so what about during the time, look back into sejarah, look back into history. How did education support the first, the second, and the third industrial revolution? Itu tujuannya lecture ini. That is the purpose and the objective of this lecture. Okay, what have education been doing to support, realize the first, the second, the third, and now the fourth industrial revolution? After the first industrial revolution, a vision for a new kind of curriculum, a new kind of syllabus, what kind of subject to be taught, began to form a more diverse degree option and new general education program. Okay, and the one that supported this, okay, who initiated this was actually Harvard President Charles Eliot. in something called the New Education, and it's in a report called the Yale Report of 1828. This is sejarah. Those of you who are interested in the history of it, you can look for this article and read it. The second industrial revolution, again, based in the period from 1860 to about 1900, associated with new manufacturing technologies based on electricity, which triggered a new economy at that time. And then that particular article mentioned about expansion of access to higher education in US and Europe, produced a surge in discovery, helped consolidate and accelerate the growth brought about by the power of new technology. That's where, can you imagine, the electric bulb, was only during the time that it was invented. The mass production of cars. And during that time, in the US, universities, begin to be formed, established. So the period of the first two industrial revolutions in the first and second brought a large establishment of innovative new education institutions, and they were funded through both public and private funding. When we say public, the government is there to support it, and also private funding. So many private universities that were supported, by the industrial. The need to train technicians, engineers in the practical avocation of life, such as the world of agriculture and mechanic arts, private philanthropy fueled by the immense profit from new industry, such as the railroad, the oil and the steel industry, enabled the founding, and establishment of many universities. Examples, Stanford and University of Chicago are very important universities that were formed during that time. It's also important to note that changes in society and education from both industrial revolution are also difficult to separate from other causes, such as the economic cycle and other titanic geopolitical shift of the period, the geographical, the political, that included the westward expansion and development of the US at that point in time. And also during the time, there were the war, the Japanese, the German states, the expansion by this nation, large global wars that dislocated economic activity and accelerated the development of science and technology. During the time of war, a lot of the application of science and technology to produce many types of weapons, for them to win the war, to fight against one another. And it's still going on these days, isn't it? The proliferation of new education institutions and new curriculum after the first two industrial revolutions enabled the technical and managerial capacity to implement the massive expansion of the economy and manufacturing that arose in the 20th century. And with respect to this, that's where thousands and thousands of universities and colleges were established to meet the need of millions and millions of students. And the higher education system, in some way, is considered as an industry, some kind of a business, and account for more than 380 billions of economic activity. And this education industry itself is perhaps in need of an industrial revolution, and especially even in Malaysia. We have so many private universities, over hundreds of them, and this itself, is a big industry. Education responses to the third industrial revolution. Now, if the third industrial revolution, which is web-based society, politics, economics, and education, is still feeling this. The world of computer is still mushrooming. Still a lot of new applications being developed. Social media came in just a few years ago. Its effect upon society, upon each and every one of you. How is Facebook affecting you in the world of Islamic study? How is the world of Facebook, Instagram affecting you in the world of communication and source? Politics, economic, education, every part of these are affected. Within the third industrial revolution, the expansion of access to higher education rose to even greater prominence with greatly increased diversity on campus, globalization of academic research accelerated by online technology. So this is where, during the third industrial revolution, online learning started. Okay, and we hope during the time now we're talking about, hey, how can our student be not so dependent upon lecturer, because those were the days, in the 1980s and before that, you come to the class in the school, everybody must keep quiet, don't move, sit down, keep quiet, and the teacher blah 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 blah. Just like what is going on right now. Okay, it is very bad. Okay, but anyway, there are certain aspects that we need, of course, to be lecturer centered, teacher centered, but we are attempting to have student centered. So online learning, how could we bring in, now suddenly no face to face, online only, okay, right in your own house? How can it be self-directed? How can it be independent? How can you have students, who wants to study on their own, self-paced, self-accessed, self-directed? Of course, under the understanding that it is anytime, anywhere because of online learning. And our biggest challenge is how to make it engaging. As I say, through this way of lecturer-centered, teacher-centered, one-way traffic. One person is talking but no response. Okay, so how can we make it more engaging? In the coming class, I will make attempts to make it more engaging. Okay, so again, okay, the online education, okay, during 2012 onwards, something called MOOC, massive open online courses, are coming in, where if you just go into Coursera, the students, and just type in your Islamic studies under Coursera, type in any part concerning communication or unsourced, you will see that the courses that you are taking now in UMS, many courses of these courses are also conducted under MOOC, under edX, under Coursera, under MIT, under Stanford University, under many universities. Okay, and you can take them free. Many of them are free. You only have to pay if you want a certificate. Okay, so I encourage all of you. Okay, do not just look at the notes and follow the course given by your lecturers. I invite all of you to go into the world of MOOC courses that are available worldwide. Okay, I'll check up with you later on in the next class. The revolution of higher education brought about by online courses is still ongoing today. Okay, and it's more likely to result in integration of high quality, synchronous, in-person learning environment with online technologies to enable students to more rapidly build skills and knowledge asynchronously. So right now, for example, this video clip, for example, is also put into our smart V3, and you're able to access it at any other time. Now that will be asynchronous, and then the activities that you're doing over there, asynchronous, at your own convenience of time. You go there, you do your. People do it at AM, some people do it at 5 a.m., some people do it at 12 p.m. The third industrial revolution has brought educators to an environment where access to information is immediate and free. Dear students, information is available at your fingertip with the Google search, for example, okay, with the MOOC, able to access just-in-time information, JIT. What you need, how to do something, you just have to go into the world of YouTube alone. How to, and many times, how to solve this problem, how to overcome that problem is available. Shifting the focus towards active learning pedagogies that place a premium on collaboration within diverse teams in the project-based and peer learning environment. So for example, we show the poster over there, okay? So in support to realize the Industrial Revolution, okay, there were things called project-based learning, project-based learning. These are still going on, and it was actually during that time, okay? And how to have more collaborative work, how to more have teamwork, okay? Social working. So this is why, other than individual project in the university, even in this course, we also have a team group project because we want to try to see how, as a team, every one of you can support and participate and synergize. You bring in your strength, okay? And then everybody come to a consensus and do your project together. There must be, of course, a team support, okay? So the challenge, of course, nowadays is with the face-to-face, it becomes more difficult, but challenging. So that is what project is all about, isn't it? Okay, how could we collaborate using social media to overcome and to realize the project? Okay, so we are in a very exciting time, okay, in this project. So other than research, we are looking into something concerning IR 4.0. So what is the emerging reality from the IR 4.0? IR 4.0 often described as the result of an integration and compounding effects of multiple exponential technologies, such as, again, AI, artificial intelligence, the world of biotechnology, the world of nanomaterials. All these converge together. Look at the poster. You recognize who is this? What is her name? And I call it her name. Yeah, she's Sophia. And to those of us who do not know who is Sophia, please immediately after this class or even now, you can actually Google Sophia, and Sophia is actually a robot. Okay. And by the way, Saudi Arabia has granted citizenship to Sophia. She's now a citizen of Saudi Arabia. This is AI. This is artificial intelligence. Look at the video concerning Sophia and see how people talk to her. She's able to recognize your speech. She's able to learn from you. She's able to even respond to you in a very intellectual way. Sophia is just the beginning, dear students. She is just the beginning of artificial intelligence, of computer application, okay, in the world of IR 4.0 to support human being, to bring in greater productivity, to bring us into some other undiscovered potential of human beings. Some people are saying, who knows? People like Sophia might even take over the world. Be careful, be cautious. So we're still going through, and all this, many of them, of course, have a mixed that particular article, okay, with some other elaboration. But all these are coming from that article, okay? So you can read in detail all this. One example of the emerging reality within the IR 4.0 is the development of synthetic organism, live from DNA created within computers and bioprinted, manufactured using robotic assembly line, where nanomaterials provide immense improvement in the efficiency of production. What is that? Now, to us who are not from the world of science, DNA is actually called deoxyribonucleic acid. Go and find out what is DNA. Okay, deoxyribonucleic acid. And what is DNA? It makes up the chromosome. What is chromosome? Chromosome is actually found in the nucleus of every one of your cells. We are made up of billions and billions of cells. Within the cell, within the nucleus, hey, there's chromosome. And within the chromosome, there's DNA. Now, that DNA, that strand, okay, over there, the DNA, the picture of the DNA, bottom right, is where your genes are found there. Look at your face. You have two eyes. Why only two eyes? Hey, it's controlled and determined by the genes over here. Now, there are two ears. And where are your ears located? It's by the side, okay, of your face. Hey, what put it there? Of course, we can bring in religion, but in the world of science, it's determined over here. The genes actually control the production, for example, of your saliva, or the enzyme in the saliva, of the enzyme found in your stomach and your small intestine, for example. And that's why the food that you eat can be digested. Hey, it's all controlled by the genes. Okay. And more, much more. Okay. So please go into this world. Okay. And people are now playing with DNA and say that, hey, can we produce new and create new organism? If we take the DNA from the goat and take the DNA from another animal, combine them, can you form a new creature? And that's what scientists are attempting to do. Okay. As last lecture I did mention, just imagine a goat, and then they have somehow the genome, the DNA concerning how to build a human heart. Okay, and then the goat will be producing, when it's from the zygote stage, when it grows up, hey, the heart of the goat is your human heart, imagine. Or the kidney, human kidney is within the goat. And later on, this can be harvested and can be used for human beings. Of course, many ethical issues over there, many sensitive issues over there, from the aspect of religion, from the aspect of ethics. Okay, so it got to be used very ethically by scientists. Anyway, go into that. Who knows? That can be very good topic, for your proposal. The IR4.0 extends the paradigm of industrial revolution into a future when many of the elements of what we might consider industry, the fixed and centralized factories, massive labor forces within large corporations, will no longer exist. Dear students, things will change. By the time you graduate after the pandemic, hey, you will come up into a new world, of IR4.0 by the time you graduate. May all of us, okay, we call it foolproof, meaning whatever the new environment, because of the way that we are being groomed in UMS, you are able to fit into the new world and contribute to the new world of IR4.0. The most familiar exponential technology is the exponential increase in computer power and decreasing cost in storage, which obeys a geometric relation commonly known as Moore's law. Just Google this and find out more detail what is Moore's law. Okay. The doubling of CPU, the central processing power, every 24 hours nowadays, every 6 months, every 3 months, we are producing new supercomputers. The WEF, okay, is saying that has defined a set of tipping points at which the technology of the fourth industrial revolution will become widespread enough to create massive society change. Things are changing so fast. very significantly, industrial revolution through the world of technology, even just through computing alone, not to say about AI, not to say, about the biotechnology world, okay? It comes into disrupt. Disrupt means it will make the things that we are doing yesterday or today obsolete. Just imagine, telephone. Do you people belong to the time where, the telephone, there's a cable over there? When the phone rings, you must run and quickly get the phone. Or your phone, you must wait until you reach a place where there's a phone and hello, hello. But these days, in the car, in the toilet, you can be in communication with people. The mobile phone has disrupted the old analog phone. The world of digital camera has disrupted the world of the analog camera. Those days where you take a picture, you must take your film to go and develop, to produce your photograph before you see it. Nowadays, it's all digitized. Disruption. I'll let you people to go and find the word called disruptive technology, okay? And see how disruptive technology could actually be a solution to a particular issue, a particular problem statement within your program. Hey, that will become your proposal. Fourth Industrial Revolution makes significant impact on our life and requires shift in employment and education. One author has described the fourth IR as a shift from non-renewable energy resources towards renewable energy, enabled by biotechnology breakthrough. Renewable energy. Nowadays, you at the rooftop, you can see solar cells, for example, okay? And they're harvesting actually the solar energy to become electricity to be used. These are renewable energy. This approach reserves the paradigm of the Industrial Revolution arising from new energy sources and make concrete prediction about the emerging bioeconomy that will fuel the future. Increasing population, losses of arable land due to global climate change will require an increase in food production, efficiency of over 50% by 2050, which places an imperative on fourth industrial revolution technology, developing revolutionary new sources of food production. By the time you come out, food is a big industry, especially today in the COVID-19 pandemic. We understand, okay, how food is so important, okay, and 4IR are looking into ways of how to produce adequate food for the whole world. The emergence of biorefineries to use genetically modified microbes to provide a wide variety of useful chemicals as well as food components could be an essential part of 4IR landscape. Now, every point here, you can just please Google, okay, and see what you mean by genetically modified microbes. Just Google it and you can get a better understanding and enlightenment concerning all this. Now, microbes, of course, belongs to the world of the bacteria, those virus, and how these microbes, the chromosome, could be modified, hey, to produce very useful component for us. You drink Vitagen, you drink Yakult. Hey, do you know that those are milk? There is a lot of bacteria inside there. And they are supposed to be cocoa, very useful, important bacteria. Give you more healthy intestine. Okay. Just Google and see Vitagen and Yakult and see actually what do you mean by good microbes. These biorefineries could make use of flexible food stores that might include cellulose, biomass, simple sugars to enable mass production of a diverse range of fuel, pharmaceutical and food products in extremely large quantities and enable a reduction in the use of fossil fuels in the coming decade. Dear students, I know many of you are not science-based people, okay? But these days, all these courses, across the disciplines, are meshed together, okay? And please just Google them to understand what you mean by all this, okay? So the response, higher education response to the 4IR. The exact impact of such 4IR technologies, all this is coming from the article again, on society and the planet are still unknown. But the fact that they will bring profound and rapid change seems all but certain. Change is a constant. We need to adapt, we need to re-adapt. We need to be open to the world of changes, to the world of new education system. The need for higher education to respond is urgent as the power of 4IR technologies for either positive social impact for devastating environmental damage upon us. Dear students, what happened to the climate nowadays? A lot of change, How could 4IR technologies come in to at least reduce the impact, the negative impact upon environment? The potential for irreversible loss of control over networks of powerful AI agents with increasing autonomy within financial sectors and within urban infrastructure. There are, from the various feedback and videos and articles that have been shared by you in your third assignment, there are many, other than positive, aspect of 4IR, there are many negative effect and impact of 4IR. So, what can we do about that? How can we reduce it? How can we eliminate those negative impact? So, this is where education comes in. This is where university education among all of us, when we graduate, you don't have to graduate even right now, okay? You may be able to come up with a particular innovation, creative ideas to overcome the particular negative impact during the time of the 4IR. Your challenge. And that could be, of course, again, your proposal, okay? You're going to write a very interesting, exciting proposal. Substantial changes to the science and technology curriculum will be required to allow for students to develop capacity in the rapidly emerging areas of genome, data science, AI, robotic, and nanomaterials. Dear students, again, as I say, you are not science student, you are in the world of communication, unsourced, and the religious study, but please do understand what are all these science terms. They are really very technical, okay? And how these could be a solution, to the problem in religious study in the world of communication and unsourced. Bring them in. That is what your proposal is all about. Such as the 4IR STEM curriculum. What is STEM? Again, I challenge you to go and Google and see what is it. We'll reconsider the curriculum within the traditional primary sciences, the biology, chemistry, and physics, and place a higher premium for training in a computer science subject as a form of 4IR literacy. Now, again, as I say, all these, you integrate them and see how it could be a solution in the world of the arts, of anthropology, of social studies, of Islamic studies, of the world of communication. 4IR, liberal arts, an ethical imperative for our new human condition. Now, as we are just, all these points as we have been going through, okay, and again, as I say, go through the article and consider them, reflect upon them, how they could ignite in you a sense of what is a problem that is in your program, where 4IR could be a solution, where the mega trends of 4IR can help you solve the particular issue. A further design requirement for education within 4IR would be to include a strong overlay of ethical thinking, intercultural awareness, and critical thinking to enable for thoughtful and informed application of the exponentially developing technologies. This is where you come in. Ethics, intercultural awareness, critical thinking, creative thinking, innovative thinking. A well-developed plan for our form of higher education will ensure that our students, every one of you, will graduate into a world that they can help shape with wisdom and skill while building a future society we would want ourselves and our grandchildren to live in. This is your future, dear students. Okay. Graduates of any 4IR higher education, UMS, should be capable of advancing the material culture of our future world while creating a culture which advances technology sustainably and ethically. So how is Malaysia contributing to this? How is UMS contributing to this? These humanistic concerns are inseparable from technical and humanistic concern. That's why we come in. Cannot be separated from this technical advancement of 4IR. So this new IR curriculum will need to reduce the division between humanities and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to create more integrated system of education. That's what we're attempting to do. The changing nature of society, societal relation, the interaction, social identity group, society, nation, all needs to be central in the 4IR curriculum, as all of these identities and loyalties are shifting rapidly due to increased globalization. Okay, in conclusion, someone mute your mic, please. Can someone mute your mic?
Mic.
Okay, conclusion. Higher education needs to recognize the necessity of adapting and scaling up these new IR forms of education rapidly to assure the sustainability of our environment and economy, as well as to sustain the relevance of higher education as a responsive and vital component of society. Dear students, this statement alone should be able to give you some ideas of what you need to do for your proposal. The world of education, higher education, that's what we're doing here in UMS, okay? How could we assure that the environment can be sustained, the economy can be sustained, okay? Through the use of 4IR technology. Taken together, this new form of 4IR education will prepare for both students and faculty for leadership roles in the world of rapidly accelerating change, with a curriculum that develops both technical mastery and a deep awareness of ethical responsibility towards human condition. What is Malaysia higher education doing about this? What is and how is University of Malaysia Sabah education doing about this? How are we preparing all of you people, you guys, you ladies, you students, to assume leadership role, okay, in this new 4IR world, where there is ethical responsibility in managing this world of industrial revolution, so that there is humanistic values that govern it, that rules it. Generally, what universities need to do, You need to instill 4Cs into student. Hey, what is this? 4C. It's called communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. Aha. How could this be instilled into your proposal? Make programming and ICT education a compulsory subject. Develop education content in the collaboration with industry. Reform content and the methodology of education via digital. Have taught people resources to lead global industrial engagement. Create new business trends through reform of higher education. Industry 4.0, government, industry, university research. This is what universities throughout the whole world actually are attempting to do. Okay, and let us see in the Malaysian context. Okay, so these are the references that we can refer to. Okay, now before I jump into this, considering what are the responses by the Malaysian Ministry of Higher Education concerning the realization of fourth industrial revolution. Okay, I stop just for a minute or two. Anybody have got any question or any comment? Izam, I open to you and your Islamic studies group. There are many of you, okay? Can Izam or anyone in Islamic study please be bold enough just to give a comment? Comment just on how is Islamic studies being impacted by fourth industrial revolution today? Negatively. There's an issue over there, okay? And how you think that maybe a mega trend could be an answer. Okay, let me see who is bold enough just to unmute yourself and give a response. I open this to Islamic study group. If nobody answer within 20 seconds, Izam, you must answer. Okay. Okay, so that was a question thrown to the Islamic study group. Somebody unmute. Okay, Izam, unmute yourself. Izam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, respond. Respond concerning my statement tadi.
Negative.
Yes.
Can in Malay?
Yes. Yes.
Alright. Okay. Pada pandangan saya,
Yes.
negatif IR4.0 ini adalah di mana teknologi internet sekarang ini dan juga dan aplikasi yang lain.
Yes.
Negatifnya adalah maklumat ataupun adalah sesuatu tentang sumber maklumat itu. Kerana secara lebih baiknya adalah kita belajar melalui face to face dengan guru. Yang mana maklumat tu adalah lebih tepat dan dari berbanding dengan kita mencari ilmu di internet. Maka dengan itu kita mestilah memeriksa dahulu sumber maklumat tersebut.
Very good comment. Very good comment by Izam. Now, those of us who may not understand what he's saying, teruskan.
Terus.
You nak kata apa lagi?
Itu saja, sir.
Terima kasih. Thank you. Thank you, Izam. Okay. Now, what Izam had been saying is concerning, it's better actually to have a face-to-face communication to obtain the right knowledge, the accurate knowledge. Okay. So that of course is correct. Okay. But the reality is we cannot have face-to-face encounter nowadays. And especially this whole semester, Izam, and to all of us, okay, we will not be meeting face-to-face for this whole semester, believe me. Okay, so we still need to use the virtual world. We use the online platform. And the problem now is there's a lot of false information. Okay, to Izam is there's a lot of fake news. The authenticity is questionable. Okay, so we need to be very cautious. We need to be very careful. Whatever that information they obtain from online, we need to filter them. We need to actually we need to scrutinize it to make sure that now it's coming from the right source, the right authority. Okay, otherwise we can be cheated, and because it's cheated, it touches on a very sensitive issue. It can erupt into big argument and even big debate and even killing, war. Very dangerous, Okay. So Izam give a very important point. Okay. Hey, how could this become, Izam, your proposal? Do consider that, Okay. Because the issue is we cannot have face-to-face encounter now. So how could we still use the world of social media, but still able to get reliable information, okay, to support Islamic study? Example, okay, very good. Now I'm going to continue, and along the way I might call upon communication and also answers to respond. Okay. By the way, what's the time now? It's about 10 o'clock. Hey, what's the time now? Okay. Now, may I know, are there anyone who is able, is there anyone there who need to move on to another online lecture? Ruzaidi, Izam, Siti? Do you think I can go on? Siti?
Yes, Prof.
Can I go on?
I didn't know. I didn't know about the others.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I shall go on. Those of us, due to whatever reason, who may need to go off now, you refer to the recording. Okay. I assume that the majority are able to be here. Okay. Otherwise, please refer to the recording. Now, we're looking at responses by the Malaysian Ministry of Higher Education, okay, with regard to Fourth Industrial Revolution. It's very important, okay. Now, again, this is the former Director General for the Department of Higher Education in Malaysia. Her name is Datin Paduka Dr. Siti Hamisah. And she says this again. We need to equip our graduates with future-proof skill sets by harnessing the humanistic, technological, and data analytic competencies in embracing Fourth Industrial Revolution. Lifelong learning must be embraced by all students through reskilling and upskilling opportunities. And this is very comprehensively detailed in this book. So you can Google and get this book, and you will understand what higher education in Malaysia is doing to prepare graduates, all of you. Now, we also have something called the Malaysian Education Blueprint, okay? And within it, there are 10 shifts. So within the 10 shifts, look at the diagram over there, okay? We hope that, the 10 shift outline is to meet the advancement of the fourth industrial revolution. And we hope that all of you graduates will be graduated as holistic entrepreneurs and balanced graduates. Hey, what is that? Yeah, we desire that all of you, be holistic, be entrepreneurial. What does entrepreneur means? When we graduate, those are the days, we look for jobs. We are searching for jobs. But now, we hope, that all of you graduate, or even before you graduate, hey, you create jobs. You create maybe or establishment a company, and you employ people to come and work for you. Entrepreneurs. That is your challenge. Hey, that could be a very good proposal for you. Now, balanced graduates. The world of IR4.0, the world of fake news, the world of all this news that bring you to become an extremist. Hey, how could you be balanced? Moral education, Islamic studies, all these are needed, okay, to make us holistic and balanced. Okay, you see, all these are given emphasis through our activities in the university, the co-curricular activities, the uniform activities, okay? Talent excellence, nation of lifelong learners, quality TVET graduates, those technical vocational education training, financial sustainability, you are having empowered governance. And what could actually bring in this kind of outcome? So that's why we hope, that there is be innovation ecosystem, there is global prominence, there is a globalized online learning. Let's transform higher education delivery. Now, those are the enablers. Now, the 7, 8, 9, 10 shift are actually the enablers to bring out, to generate this graduate among all of you. And that's why you see we have a smart, for example, Smart V3. We are using all kind of social media in globalized online learning. So that, with this Smart V3, the way we are using it, using, for example, now, MS Team, okay, synchronously, asynchronous communication, we are able to produce 1 to 6 graduates. Hey, look at the center there. Learner value driven talent. Look at that. The center there is called learner driven, value driven talent. And in UMS, okay, what are the core values that we hope, will be inculcated among each and every one of you? What are our core values? Dynamic, sustainable, integrity, justice, happiness. Hey, these are our core values. So these are a type of a graduates that from UMS, people with integrity. Now you have the new knowledge of 4IR. Now you know how actually to run the economy. Okay. The question now is, are you running it? Are you governing it? Are you establishing a company with integrity? Okay, and all the other values. So in Malaysia, we are value driven, okay, in our whatever you are doing in all the universities. And all this is also actually to support something called the Sustainable Development Goal. So in Malaysia, we are a member of UNESCO, and the UNESCO has got a Sustainable Development Goal. And these goals, the 17 of them, is actually to transform our world. Your world, dear students, okay? And let me go through this. 4.0 as a leverage to achieve this sustainable development goal. Now, you please ponder, upon what is being shared over here, because all this will affect or have an impact upon your proposal. Okay? There are two main challenges, dear students, with which humanity is struggling today. One is the achievement of the sustainable development goal, and the other is adapting to the innovation which define the industrial revolution. Now, both challenges require innovative thinking and a groundbreaking change of attitude. The first one, to do with SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal, the 17 of them, is an existential challenge. While the second one, IR4.0, is more of a technical character, more of scientific character. Existential challenge means, hey, something has happened to the world, and UNESCO is saying there are problems over here. And how could we solve these problems so that, that the future, your future, your children, your grandchildren's future, dear students, would be sustained. Poverty is an issue. How can we eliminate poverty? Through IR 4.0. Hunger. Do you know that so many people are having just 1 meal per day in the world? How to have zero hunger? Using IR 4.0, using science, using food in technology or for IR. Good health and well-being. Dear students, COVID-19 pandemic killing so many people and is still killing people. The way that this virus is attacking and spreading is a plague, It is something that is destroying and affecting every aspect of our human life. Hey, how could IR 4.0 come in to reduce this risk, bring in good health again, well-being again among all of us? Quality education. Hey, today our education system, I tell you, is prepared for normal people, normal student. But what about those of us, who are having some weaknesses, having some we call it kekurangan. Those who belong to the world of the OKU, okay, where we may be born somehow with hard of hearing. We may be born not able to speak. We may be born blind. Hey, we need to improve our education to be more inclusive. Okay? We need to increase the quality of education so that it becomes inclusive, able to, so that no one is left behind. Hey, that can be a very good proposal, for you. Gender equality, many parts of the world, somehow, women, you are having able to, majority, by the way, of students in UMS and in public universities are ladies. Okay, many parts of the world, hey, female, you are not allowed to have a tertiary education. You're limited. UNESCO is saying, no, we have to address this. there must be equal opportunity the gender. Water and sanitation, okay, and all the rest, okay. Now, so that the world can be transformed. The 17 goals to transform our world to become sustainable, okay, for all, for everyone. Look into any of them, okay, you can Google it and go into in-depth, and there are a lot of issues in each and every one of them, okay, and how it relates to your program and how 4IR can actually come to solve it. You can get a lot of good proposals coming from sustainable development goals. Relate these two together. Okay, now, so this is what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So again, the SDG, okay, have been developed as a response to increasing negative impact of the way of life on the planet and all forms of life inhabiting it. All the weather change that have been taking place have been due to the third industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, first industrial revolution. Hey, all those are the negative impact, they bring into the climate change we're experiencing today, of the pollution that's taking place in the water, of pollution taking place in the air. Hey, Sustainable Development Goal as proposed by UNESCO. What is our response? What is your response? SDG give a globally agreed definition of the problem which stand in the way of a sustainable planet. However, they only define the what but not the how. The how will be defined by the choices we make when embracing the technology of IR4.0. How? What is our choice of using all the mega trends to solve, to reduce, to eliminate all those negative impact? Very good proposal. I'm about to call out to communication and also to ANSOS to respond to this. The easiest way to understand the fourth industrial revolution, of course, is just to focus on the technology driving it. As we mentioned just now, the sciences behind it, the artificial intelligence, the robotic, okay, the biotechnology, okay. These include now all these, the AI, the combination, the robot, 3D printing, the Internet of Things, the virtual, the augmented reality, the blockchain technology. These technologies still have an unknown potential impact on sustainability and the environment. Dear students, these technology, how could it come in, hey, potentially to impact in the world of unsourced, impact on the world of communication, impact on the world of Islamic studies. The plan to achieve an integrated but sustainable infrastructure, innovation, and industrial development under Industrial Revolution 4.0 are the most appropriate tool for implementing the SDG. What a statement for your proposal. I call upon communication, Siti, dalam 30 saat, somebody from communication, unmute yourself to respond, just like what Izam has mentioned just now. Any aspect on how you think a negative aspect, negative impact, a negative issue that now can actually be looked upon or be solved or be eliminated by any aspect of megatrend. Any aspect. Okay, unmute yourself, mention your name, and go ahead. Let me see the bold one. After 20 seconds, I'm going to call Siti if there's no response. Okay, let me see the bold one, please.
Let me try, sir.
Okay, give me your name, please.
Emilia.
Emilia. Good.
Yeah.
Proceed.
I think Megatrend take off all the semua pekerjaan lah, pekerjaan manusia. Let we see Pizza Hut right now. Pizza Hut sekarang dorang menggunakan sistem WhatsApp. Kalau kita mau order Pizza Hut online, kita boleh WhatsApp. And we know kalau WhatsApp tuh kan kita try chat. Contoh lah kita chat WhatsApp tuh kan bukan manusia ataupun dorang punya pekerja yang jawab, tapi WhatsApp tuh sudah disetkan sistem supaya otomatis kita. Di Pizza Hut juga kita boleh lihat sebelum PKP berlaku bagi mengurangkan penjarakan sosial antara pekerja dengan customer, Pizza Hut menggunakan platform order dine-in secara online melalui telepon mereka sendiri, di mana beberapa pekerja hanya memberikan QR code, barcode. Jadi dorang order melalui handphone saja. So di sini jelas menunjukkan teknologi take off some of pekerjaan. Jadi di sini kita boleh lihat secara perlahan-lahan pekerjaan manusia diambil alih oleh teknologi.
Very good, Emilia. Now, Emilia is, of course, talking from her very own experience because I entered into Pizza Hut in Damai area, and I belong to the world where sometimes I go for face-to-face. And there helping me was Emilia. So Emilia actually belongs to the world of the generation of today, where I know you have to work to support yourself, okay? And she works in a Pizza Hut, I think for almost a long time. Yes, she's talking from her experience, okay, that using new technology, using the QR code, using the handphone, the employment, you need less people to work in Pizza Hut nowadays. So they need very efficient people like Emilia, just among a few people to be there to run, actually, to manage Pizza Hut. So employment is a big issue because of IR 4.0. Memang betul, because of those technology or smartphone, QR code, order delivery, and so on. So this is a big issue, okay? So how could we overcome all this? I think this becomes a very good proposal for Emilia herself, okay? Using Pizza Hut as the background concerning the issue. Okay, good. Thank you, Emilia. Can I move on to Ansos? Okay, Ruzaidi and your friends. After 20 seconds, I call Ruzaidi. Okay, the bold one, please respond. Unmute. Okay. Ruzaidi, you're next. Ruzaidi? Okay. I count to 5 seconds. Somebody from Ansos respond. Unmute yourself, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, no response from Ansos. We'll go on. Now, this is in Malaysian education blueprint. And again, you can Google this and you can look into what is actually our Ministry of Higher Education doing to make sure that UMS, for example, is producing the right graduates. What are we doing? Now, this is a 21st century education model. So to some of us, this might be the first time that you're looking at this. It's a rainbow over there, and down there, concentric circles. Now, the rainbow there is actually denoting the graduates, the attributes of our graduates graduating from the university. And we expect that every one of you are very knowledgeable in all your core subject. Okay, in whatever discipline, whatever course you're doing, whatever program you're doing, that is your core subject. But they should also be governed by 21st century themes. They should also be governed by health situation, global health problem, for example, today, concerning concerning the COVID-19 pandemic example, concerning climate changes and things like that. And we need to have lifelong and career skills. We need to have ICT skills, and we need to have learning and innovation skills. The 4C is this, okay? Able to communicate effectively, able to think creatively, critically, okay? And work as a team, collaboratively. The 4Cs is actually over here. So these are that we want. Now, look at the concentric circles down there, okay? So the standard and assessment. Hey, the way that we assess you, nowadays, you can see, that very few courses are having 100% final exam where you just write essays, okay? But we give 20%, 30%, even up to 60% of our coursework as your assessment, because we believe, that those can also be used to evaluate your application of your theory, of your knowledge from your skill. The curriculum and instruction, okay, have been changing. The professional development, the type of training that we give, have been changing. The learning environment have been changing, especially, okay, instead of face-to-face, now we're going remotely. The learning environment is now virtual, 100%. It's remote, we call it, okay? So what can we do? We need this new kind of changes, environment, okay, to realize graduates in the rainbow there. This is our challenge. So yeah, there you are, some notes over there. And even in UMS, we also have this particular transformasi ke arah University Industry 4.0, transformation towards University Industry 4.0. Do Google and do discover what is UMS actually doing concerning this. For example, there is a newspaper article in November 2019 concerning a UMS aim to be top industry 4.0 varsity. Wow, look at that. So, and whatever that we're doing has also very much to do with the World Economic Forum Future of Job Report, where top 10 skills that are relevant for IR 4.0. Okay, so for example, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, social orientation, negotiation, flexibility. Do you know that, dear students, when you go for interview face-to-face, and of course nowadays it will be online, they will group you together, okay? Maybe 5 people to a group, and they will throw to you a problem, and they will ask you, and they will observe, they will keep quiet. The interviewer will keep quiet and say, okay, among 5 of you, please look into this problem presented to you, and please come up with solution, brainstorm solution. After 15 minutes, they should be able to identify who among the 5 of you that they would want to be employed by observing how you solve the problem, how you analyze problem, how you put them into small little chunk, and then how you bring in your critical thinking, how you critique upon one another's opinion, how you come up with creative and innovative ideas, and how you manage people. People give a certain, and how you respond. Did you get angry and shout at them and say how stupid an idea is that? Or you say, yeah, we should consider that. Hey, the way you manage people, how you coordinate with other people so that the synergy coming in. Okay, so when you do your teamwork, I will be observing that. How your emotional intelligence, how your EQ comes in. Okay, how you decide after 15 minutes, you need to come to a conclusion based upon whatever evidence or whatever rationale or whatever, you must come to a consensus. We have to decide. This is the real world in the industry, dear students. Okay, so even in your group project, when they discuss concerning the issue or concerning what is it that you must allocate to one another, the decision making, the leaders, okay, use all this. You must have all these so-called skills. And these are the skills that we hope, that will be inculcated in all of you when you do your group project. Okay, and we hope that this will prepare you for the IR 4.0. And even more, in UMS, we want you to have core values of being dynamic, you're sustainable, you're full of integrity, you're justice, and you're happy. You're happy. Happiness index is important in UMS. Okay, I know a lot of anxiety, a lot of frustration. I know some of us right now maybe got cut off already because of the internet connectivity. Halfway through, you get cut off, and then you try to come in. Some of you fail to come in. I know that. Okay, but whatever it is, we attempt, to do recording and to share to you so that you don't miss it, even though you got cut out, but you don't miss it, and you can continue. Okay? So please be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Try to listen to the song. Okay, so in Malaysia, in the higher education, to address, for example, the IR 1.0, centers on the teacher as a source of knowledge by shock and talk teaching method. And those were the days. Okay, teachers talk, okay, and then the students receive. Just sebagai penerima sahaja. Open your brain and just receive. Okay, and after that, you just whatever you remember, you give it out in the examination, and you get grade A. So those were the days. In responding to the Industrial Revolution 2.0, learners still receptacles of knowledge, and then they regurgitate, means they just whatever remember, they just point out in the exam, they get grade A. And then they also learn to respond. So in the class, we encourage people to actually ask questions. So during the time, establish a utilization of basic technology practices in the classroom and feature students as receptacle of information who regurgitate and respond to knowledge. So those were the days, where we make use of radio. When did they can you imagine? I belong to that time, where 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, all of us will sit down together, and then the teacher will put on the radio, okay, and we listen to it. Okay, and then after the class, the teacher will ask some question, and then we respond. Okay. Now, Industrial Revolution time of 3, higher education, what we'll be doing? We encourage dynamic teaching approaches by requiring students to explore real-world problem and collaborate on social learning platform. And this is still ongoing. It's still ongoing, okay? But this is what we've been practicing. Now, in responding to IR 4.0. So the education 4.0 in Malaysia, this is what we've been emphasizing, okay? Promote students' diversification of roles, curator of knowledge, content producers, connection makers, the web as your open global curriculum, educators as the resource guide. So now, we, the lecturers, is actually facilitate, okay? And together, we learn together with the students. Do you know that in your assignment 3, okay, I give you just one video clip, I just suggest something, and all of you went in to the world, the online world, okay, and you look for very relevant information, which I didn't have time to look into. Many of your friends cannot go into, but you found it, and you share it, and you even give comment. And now we are able to go and visit your blog, okay, your post, and we are able to learn from you. Mutual learning is taking place. Dear students, this is the community of learners I'm trying to establish among all of you. This is the virtual COL. Okay, we are assessing the experts that have already produced their recording. We now bring it and put it into our post in our smart V3, and we comment upon it and we share it, and people is now able to visit your post at any time, anywhere, using their smartphone, and you become actually a resource. You became a content producer by giving your comment. You curate. You went to take the particular video, the particular article, and you bring it the relevant article, the relevant video, and you share it to all of us. You have become a curator. Dear students, in the IR 4.0, a new kind of job has come up already. It's called curator. And those of us who are from education, communication, okay, you can talk to them, okay? Maybe you can even visit their project where they curate so many things when they were doing a project under the course called, what is that? AT20503, ICT, okay, in communication. Go and visit their website. It is open, okay? And you can learn to use so many ways to become a curator. Okay, you are doing that right now, okay? So upon this, I say congratulations, dear learners, dear students, dear content producers, dear curators. Okay. I leave this to you, okay, to go through. This is just a summary of the impact of the 3 domains on higher education, on how economy and business domain impact upon higher education globally, okay, and the measure taken higher education providers. What is going on in the university, in the public university, in the private university? Believe me, many of the private universities are doing also a very good job. With respect to the society domain, okay, what is actually the response of the university in higher education, okay, in terms of government, okay, how is actually the education in that particular public or private university doing to address these issues, okay.